Good morning. This is KELOLAND on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
An ankle monitor helped lead Rapid City Police to a suspect in a weekend shooting. It happened late Friday night on La Crosse Street on the city's north side, where responding officers found a woman with a gunshot wound to her arm. She was taken to the hospital.
After interviewing witnesses, investigators determined that the suspect was 30-year-old Luke Eaglestar of Rapid City. Eaglestar was wearing an ankle monitor, and that allowed police to track him down and arrest him. He's charged with 3 counts of aggravated assault. We do not know the condition of the woman. Local authorities are investigating an early morning house fire in central Sioux Falls. Fire crews responded to reports of a fire in the 500 block of South Waltz Avenue at 5 o'clock this morning.
Crews used a crane to put out the fire in the second story of the home. No injuries have been reported. Stay with us as we gather more information on air and online right here on KELOLAND.com.
The Lincoln County Sheriff's Office is praising a snowmobile club for helping a family in the southern part of the county. Officials say a call for help came in at 4:30 Sunday afternoon. 2 adults and a baby were stuck in a snowdrift near 292nd Street and 474th Avenue.
Deputies tried to reach them but couldn't because of road conditions. Authorities were able to get in touch with Trailbusters Snowmobile Club in Beersford. Club members and another Good Samaritan were able to get to the family and get them unstuck and back on the road safely. Now let's get a check of our weather with meteorologist Scott Munn. Much warmer this week out there, Scott.
Oh, it's looking a lot better. Temperatures this week in the 30s. That will cover much of central and eastern KELOLAND. 40-degree weather in the western South Dakota. We'll see that today. Rapid City's forecast high is 40. 30 in Pierre, 26 Aberdeen, 30 in Sioux Falls. We are looking at the warmer temperatures as we do go through much of the week. And it will also be mostly dry. We are watching a couple of areas that may give extreme southeastern KELOLAND, maybe a light wintry mix as we do go through the week, but moisture is very limited. More details on your forecast with Brian coming up.
Thank you, Scott. Having the right winter attire can go a long way in helping you keep warm. One Sioux Falls charity is providing winter items to do just that. Denise Patton started Bundle Up Sioux Falls 7 years ago.
Every day, she and her volunteers hang hats, gloves, mittens, and scarves on trees at 2 locations. Last year, more than 5,000 items were given away.
I had gone to Minneapolis and then again in Colorado kind of a few months prior and saw that they had trees that had things hanging from them. Like, that's super cute. And I know that it hadn't been done here in Sioux Falls, so it kind of inspired me.
Donation bins are set up at Sioux Falls Library locations. Patton says she hopes to continue to expand even more parts of town. Livestock herds in KELOLAND, unlike people, often don't have the option of being indoors when the weather's extremely cold. Local farmers and ranchers say cattle have kind of a sixth sense when it comes to predicting the weather.
They'll start eating more a full day before a cold front moves in so they can add a little more insulation for protection from the elements.
You can see cattle, or I believe any animal, they start reacting 24 hours before the cold actually hits. You know, they have a sense of what lies ahead.
Knock and Miss says during colder winters, the calves will weigh more due to their mothers eating more to keep warm. Well, after many trials with the weather this winter, Great Bear Ski Valley opened for its first full weekend.
General Manager Dan Greider says they had more than 1,500 guests over the weekend and expect that number to continue to grow throughout the season.
The weather's still kind of playing a factor, but I anticipate we're going to hit a groove next week, and it's just going to be fantastic.
Greider says you can find updates for the weather and open runs on their website, which we've included a link to with this story at KELOLAND.com.
Let's look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
All right, our weather picture. Well, certainly exiting the worst of the cold, trying to find a little middle ground, perhaps. And I think that we can argue for that here. Today's forecast, we're right around 30, not far off from the average high for this time of the year. And some clouds will try to sneak back in. We'll see how these northeast winds favor that, and also maybe some fog development. We're kind of watching some trends tonight in western South Dakota. Also, in the southeast, we may be prone to a little more fog. Those kind of talking points can come back, I'm sure, from time to time this week as we elevate these temperatures and, bringing up the dew points. So your relative humidity will be higher as a result. Are we going to manage to get much moisture out of this pattern? Well, the quick answer is no. At this point, I really don't anticipate any major storm tracks, but a couple of things we'll point out here as we broaden the scope here on Futurecast. And let's keep an eye on Iowa and parts of eastern Nebraska there into Wednesday and Thursday. There is some rain, and on the northern side of that, there can be a little bit of a wintry mix. So I'm not going to argue that, we avoid that entirely. Certainly there on Thursday, we're showing a strip of moisture there from near Omaha to Minneapolis. So if we have to add that in there on Thursday, we'll keep that in mind. But generally speaking, it looks like the pattern even turning toward the weekend or thereafter is milder in western South Dakota. And eventually here, well, it's safe to say we're going to give old man winter a boot, and he's out of the picture for several days. Can we say for the rest of the month? I think so. I think it looks pretty good temperature-wise, above normal. That seems to be the going trend here. 27, that's our high today in Mitchell, 27 degrees in Chamberlain, and Rapid City, close to 40. How about that 7-day forecast? Low to mid-30s, likely through the upcoming weekend. No major changes. Temperatures at night in the 20s. Might even have a couple of nights where it's closer to 30. So that, too, is going to make a big difference on heating bills and just helping us recuperate after the cold snap. Aberdeen also likely to see 30s through the duration of the forecast. And I would anticipate Pierre in central South Dakota, same line of thinking, mid to upper 30s by the weekend. We'll see what next week will deliver. I'm curious to see how fast Rapid City starts pacing here. We've got less snow on the ground. We're going to yield 40s, and eventually we're going to flip over and start talking 50s next week. Yep, that's how it goes here in KELOLAND. Find out more details online at KELOLAND.com.